Hey, what's up YouTube? Thanks for tuning back in. And today we're going to go over my pick of top 5 tools you can buy from Harborfreight. So if you like this video, click like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And if you have a comment of your favorite tool from Harborfreight, leave it down in the comment section. So let's get into it. Going over these tools, I will say I've used these in a professional setting. And these are tools for the do-it-yourselfer all the way up to the experienced technician that I will vouch for tools for a great quality. So the first one is this breaker bar. So Pittsburgh breaker bar, this is like 22 bucks from Harborfreight. You can see it's quite well used. I did a whole video of why this is the best tool from Harborfreight that you can buy. And reason being, this thing is just 22 bucks. And I've never had a problem with it. I've ran, I believe, a cheater pipe on this one. You can see the ears up here are not splitting. The Allen has stayed fairly tight over the years, but then again, I only use it for braking. It's not like it's a ratchet. And just the quality, it does the same job as a Snap-on $200, $300 breaker bar. Now, I know Icon came out with a newer one. It's a little bit thicker. It's about an inch longer. It's also double the price. But if you're just starting out and you need a 1/2-inch breaker bar, this is a great option. Comes with a comfort handle. So if you live in cold climate like me and you're working in a shop that may not have heat, this saves your little fingers from freezing off touching the metal rod. You can tell it's still straight after all the beatings I've done. So definitely in my top 5 for good reason. Okay, moving on to the next tool. It is their dead blows. Now this is a 3-pound. I also have a 1.5-pound dead blow. So a little different than the normal dead blows that you can find that are in ounces. These are in pounds. But they're just solid hammers. And I think it goes up to 4-pound, maybe 5. Under 20 bucks for your largest hammer. So can't really complain. They're super cheap. They're easy to warranty. This is actually my second 3-pound hammer. My last one was already starting to split the rubber, and then I left it in the backyard out in the sun, and it completely just dry rotted it and split the rubber all the way down, exposing the steel. Walked in, said, hey, I need a new hammer. This one split. No questions asked. They let me pick out the equivalent 3-pound one. I gave them my old one and walked out of the store. So really easy, dumb tool for under 20 bucks. Big fan. Okay. Next tool is this MTOX bearing race and steel driver set. I believe this is about $35 now in today's market, or $40. Fairly cheap. It is opening from this side, but all of these pieces are billet aluminum. Very nice machining. For how cheap it is, you'll pick this set up for over $100 off the truck. And it's a beating set. So why would you spend that much money on a tool, one that I don't use all the time, and is just as good as the ones off the truck? Comes with this little handle. It holds up, you can see. And you just unscrew this bolt, put on one of these aluminum pieces, whichever size you need. Screw the bolt back in, and then you can beat in your races or seals. So very handy for the price. It works. And it's from MTOX. And that's the part number right there. MD10-1. Very good tool for the money. And comes in handy for a whole lot cheaper than some of those tool truck brands. Okay, this next tool may not be the exact tool that I'm talking about, and it's not that it's a cutoff wheel, but it just is for all of Harbor Freight's pneumatic tools. Their impacts I've used, really good. I don't personally own one, but I've had to use them before in the past, and all their air tools for the price are really good. The cutoff wheel I had before this, I think it's like $5 or $10 now. It's just their silver metal body one. And back in the day, it was like $5 with coupon. It was $3. I eventually lost it. I wasn't too heartbroken with how cheap it was, so I picked up this one and replaced. But I have a few of Harbor Freight's pneumatic tools, and then I have a few of Snap-on's pneumatic tools. And those are in the hundreds of dollars that I've spent, and they do just as good of a job as Harbor Freight. And sometimes these Harbor Freight tools actually outperform the really expensive Blue Point and Snap-on tools. So at least in air, everything's moving to electric, so I don't use air all the time, but when I do, it's nice to save a buck. I've used this guy now probably once. My last one I've used quite a bit, but they work. I have different cutoff wheels and sanders from them. Just really happy with all of Harbor Freight's lineup of air tools, as long as you take care of them, oil them before every use, and don't abuse them. So they hold up, they're nice, and relatively cheap. I can't remember how much I spent on this, maybe 20, 25, 30 bucks. I know the one from Ingersoll is like 100, and Snap-on's probably 150 to 200, 250. So I could buy quite a few of these before I run out of money. Okay, the last tool is probably my favorite. Even though it's been replaced by a Snap-on ratchet, this is by far the best tool I think you could buy starting out that will make you the most money as a technician. And that is this 3/8 long flex head ratchet. So I haven't abused it, never had to warranty it. I still use it to this day because now it's in my service bag. So if I have to do a mobile call, I just grab my bag and this is in it. And I just used it actually today, but the teeth still sound like they're brand new. The handle's a little beat. I've never put a cheater pipe on this, so I've never really had any problems using it correctly. The handle's comfortable. There is a flex head. Now it is a little loose. Downside to this, over the years, this head just gets loose. It is what it is. That is the one downside that I found from going from a professional Snap-on, or going from this to a professional Snap-on. The head does tend to get loose quite quick, but pull that bolt out, run some blue Loctite, run it back in. You should be good. But flex is nice. None of the ears are bent on this either, and I've put some massive torque on it. If you are in the professional setting using this ratchet, you might find it a little annoying that this switch lever is backwards to your big tool truck brand, so like Snap-on and stuff. This is on, this is off, where versus that's on while you're cranking down that way, and that's off. But it's okay. It's, you know, I think this was like 25 bucks and it's lasted me no problems. One of my favorite tools that I still use to this day. And it's also a nice cheap tool that if I ever lose it, I'd kind of be heartbroken for sentimental value, since it was my first ratchet I used professionally. But no real skin off my back seeing how cheap it is and how cheap they are to replace. So this is my top 5 tools from Harbor Freight that I think you should invest in. Thanks for watching the video.